Hello, my name is Melanie Armstrong and I work in the Education Data Division at the Department for Education. I'm here to offer advice to schools regarding the collection and processing of personal data relating to individual pupils. This is one of a series of videos related to school census collection and should be watched in conjunction with the others. This slide lists the topic areas I'll be covering in the presentation. The school an individual child attends will hold information about that child, which will be used by the school to help ensure they receive the best possible education. Every term the school is required by law to send some of this data to the department via the school census. The census is the department's primary source of administrative data about pupils attending schools in England. The data collected is vital in supporting a number of the department's objectives and is widely used for the purpose of improving and promoting the education or well-being of children in England. It helps us make sure we are allocating funds where they are needed and no groups of children are missing out on their education they deserve. The submission of the school census returns, including a set of named pupil records, is the statutory requirement on schools under Section 537A of the Education Act 1996. All state-funded schools and non-maintained special schools in England are required to make a school census return to the department. The General Data Protection Regulation and the associated 2018 Data Protection Act mandate certain safeguards regarding the use of personal data by organisations, including the department, local authorities and schools. These regulations give rights to those known as data subjects, about whom data is processed, such as pupils, parents and teachers. This includes the right to know the types of data held, why it's being held, and to whom it may be communicated. The next two slides provide information on two aspects of data protection regulations, namely privacy notices and data security. However, as data controllers in their own right, it is important that schools collect, process and store all data that's not just collected for the purpose of the school census in accordance with the full requirements of the data protection regulations. Further information on data protection can be found on the Information Commission's Office website. Being transparent and providing accessible information to individuals about how you will use their personal data is a key element of data protection regulations. The most common way to provide this information is in a privacy notice. For schools, this means that you must provide clear, accessible privacy notices to inform parents, pupils, and staff what data is collected about them, for what purpose the data is collected, how the data is used and processed, what the lawful basis is for processing, how long is the data retained, who the data is shared with, and why the data is shared. The department provides suggested wording for privacy notices that schools and local authorities may wish to use. However, where the suggested wording is used, the school local authority must review and amend the wording to reflect local business needs and circumstances. This is especially important as the school will process data that is not solely for the use within the census data collections. As such, to comply with the data protection regulations, the privacy notice should contain details of all uses of data within the school. For example, information used locally for pupil achievement tracking and, where relevant, the use of CCTV data. If you don't already use the department's suggested wording for privacy notices, we would highly recommend that you consider using it in the future. Schools and local authorities have a legal duty under the General Data Protection Regulation and Data Protection Act to ensure that any personal data they process is handled and stored securely. If personal data is not properly safeguarded, it could damage your reputation and compromise the safety of individuals. Your responsibility as a data controller extends to those who have access to your data beyond your organisation if working on your behalf. For example, if external IT suppliers can remotely access your information. It is vital that all staff with access to personal data understand the importance of protecting it, that they are familiar with your security policy, and that they will put security procedures into practice. You should therefore ensure you provide appropriate initial and refresher training. Further information on handling data securely can also be found on the gov.uk website. It is not possible for a parent, guardian or an individual child to opt out of the school census collection. However, there is certain information such as ethnicity, first language, and whether a child is the child of someone in the armed forces, which must always be declared by the parent, guardian or the pupil. Please note this information can only be requested directly from a pupil if they are deemed mature enough to have the capacity to understand and agree to share their personal data with others. When collecting this information from the parent, guardian or pupil, it is important that schools make them aware of their right to decline to provide these data items, and where they exercise this right, the information is returned in the census using the refuse code. Ethnicity is collected for all pupils and records the ethnicity as stated by the parent, guardian or child. Ethnicity is a personal awareness of a common cultural identity and relates to how a person feels and not how they are perceived by others. It is a subjective decision as to which category a person places themselves in and does not infer any other characteristics such as religion or country of origin. The school must not ascribe any ethnicity to the pupil. This information must come from the parent, guardian or pupil. Where the ethnicity has not yet been collected, this is recorded as information not yet obtained. If a pupil or parent has declined to provide ethnicity, the code for refused must be returned. Language is collected for all pupils and records the language as stated by the parent, guardian or child. Where a person's first language is declared as not English, that is, where the pupil has been exposed to a language other than English during early development and continues to be exposed to this language in the home or in the community, the specific languages from the extended language code set in Section 8 of the School Census Guidance may be used, or schools can continue to use the aggregated code from the short code set. A school must not ascribe a specific language to the pupil. The codes EMB, not known but believed to be English, and OTB, not known but believed to be other than English, are only appropriate to use where all of the following conditions apply. The pupil's first language is not known with absolute certainty. The parents have not responded to inquiries. The school is able to judge with a high degree of confidence whether the pupil language is English or not. Where the parent, guardian or pupil have declined to provide a first language, then the code for refused must be used. The Service Child in Education indicator is collected for all pupils on roll on Census Day and records the service child status as declared by the parent, guardian or child. A service child has parents or person with parental responsibility who are service personnel serving in the regular HM Forces military units or have a full commitment as part of the full-time reserve service, or are in the armed forces of another nation and stationed in England, and are exercising parental care and responsibility. The Service Child indicator is only relevant to those children whose parents are designated as Personnel Category 1 or 2, which are shown on the gov.uk website. All parents will be aware of their personnel category. This slide provides links which you may require before and during the collection. More information about how to submit your census data to us, including details about what data is collected for each termly census, can be found on the school census page. Please take some time to read these documents as they help you to fulfil your statutory requirements and successfully complete an accurate census return. In addition to the online documents, we also provide a data collection forum. The purpose of the forum is to provide a facility to allow customers to exchange ideas and good practice relating to specific data collections and related EDD systems. To gain access to this forum, please complete a service request form. The Data Collection Help Desk issues regular email bulletins before and during the data collection period. These bulletins provide important messages to help schools make a successful school census return, and so please ensure you read the information carefully. I do hope you found this presentation helpful. Thank you.